What's up, guys? Want to do a video here on another featureless setup or options that is available to us here in the state of California. Basically what this is a Strike Industries simple featureless grip, I believe is what they call it. And if you can see there how the fin is kind of offset, it's more set up for like a right-handed shooter. If you're a left-handed shooter, you might struggle with this a little bit because there's not a lot of material kind of here on the left side of the gun, so you won't get as good a purchase as a right-handed shooter. But for us righties, it's a great option. It's got just enough, you can see where I can kind of get the palm of my hand on that, and I have control of this gun this way. You know, it doesn't, obviously it's not as good as a pistol grip, I mean, that's a given, but that you still have a lot of control with it. I feel it's, you know, it's a nice, comfortable option if you got to go this way. You do have to run an ambi safety with it, so you can actuate it with your thumb on the right hand side of the gun. So that's a must. This particular one I set up with an A2 stock because A2, I'm pretty tall, so A2 length of pull is fine for me. If you're kind of a smaller stature shooter, it may be a little long for you. But what I set this up for is basically a home defense kind of, or truck gun kind of setup that I could run full capacity magazines in. I put the basically the little Eagle Industries pouch here. It was a surplus pouch that I can store a 30 round magazine in here, as well as keep it with a 20 or 30 round magazine ready to go as far as by the bedside for home defense. You can see here it's got a knockoff of I think it's a double tap muzzle brake, something like that is basically what it's cloning. But you can get these off eBay. I got this one for $19.95 or something shipped, and like I said, it's just kind of a knockoff clone. It's an actual brake though. It doesn't have any flash suppression capabilities on it. Just went with a standard Magpul set of MOEs. These are kind of hard to find now because everything's now is M-LOK. But I really like these scout mounts, and I haven't found these scout mounts in M-LOK configuration yet. So they'll bolt right to a Streamlight ProTac light mount. You can bolt it on, so it's got a nice solid connection there. Everything's bolted, so nothing's clamped on or whatever. It's a nice firm setup. This just got an A2 upper. I don't even know who makes it. I've had this thing for a few years now or whatever. I actually traded a buddy for some stuff or ended up with it. But I built this thing to just be kind of a KISS, no frills, like home defense truck gun or whatever that was basically budget friendly per se. I mean, it's got a Bravo Company barrel that I bought off a forum. New guys were selling, I think $200 shipped. So it's, it is a good quality barrel, but I didn't pay, full retail for it or whatever. It was a forum purchase. It's got a Palmetto's Armory premium bolt. It's HP MP tested bolt carrier group. I think I got these on sale one time. They were like $69 at one time. They ran them. You'll see them for $79 every once in a while now, but I haven't seen them for $69 again in quite a while. But I did pick up a couple when they were that cheap. It's got a Bravo Company Mod 3 or Mod 4, the medium charge handle, because I like those. I think they're easier to grab or whatever than standard charge handle. I think they're a decent upgrade. So it's just a standard Delton receiver, nothing fancy. So it's a fairly budget friendly build, but it's a could be used as a hard use rifle. It's like I said, basically home defense, truck gun. I wanted something really plain Jane, that you didn't have a bunch of money in the optic. You didn't have to worry about batteries in the optic. If it whatever, I didn't want to put a $500 aim point if say I did take a long road trip and threw this in the back. Anytime you run a gun in a vehicle, you do run the risk of theft. Obviously, I mean, you do everything you can not to get it stolen or whatever. You don't leave it out in the open, obviously, but for a gun that's kind of considered for that use, obviously, you kind of want to minimize cost if for some reason it does end up getting stolen. Where I have probably in this whole gun what it would cost for the aim point, if you threw an aim point on it. So definitely, iron sights are really usable. I mean, I've shot them quite a bit. Iron sights work great. Marines used them for years and years and years and years, and just recently switched over to like an ACOG. So they're definitely combat proven. If you can run them, they'll work. So like I said, I just wanted to kind of no frills, really hard use, featureless build So if you guys are in California and you haven't built an AR yet, and these laws are kind of, you know, got you thinking, well, do I want to or not, or whatever, a good rifle still can be built in California. Understand you got to go featureless, or you do have to run a mag, you know, a secondary mag lock that, you know, locks it until the action's open, until the mag's released and stuff like that. To me personally, my view, my thoughts on it are, it's not an option if it doesn't have a detachable mag for like a hard use or a serious defense use rifle. That's my own personal opinion. You know, your views might be totally different on that, but I have to have, you know, a detachable mag on a rifle that I would be, you know, I'd consider for self-defense. So just wanted to show you that, guys. I'll compare it here. Another way I built one, like I said, is basically same setup, but I didn't go with the A2. I went with the Magpul fixed MOE stock. This is another good option. Primary Arms had them on sale, in fact, this week for like 23 bucks and $6 shipping or something. So basically for 30 bucks you can get this to your house, you know, delivered. Primary Arms has these. Strike Industries, they go in and out of stock. You probably have to put an alert. Well, they'll notify you when they get them, but they're 9 bucks, you know. So really for basically $40, you know, you can convert the whole back of your gun, and then all you're out is just a flash or a muzzle brake, if you don't have one, which, like I said, eBay, that one I got is 20 bucks. So you can really do it, and you just have to do an ambi safety if you don't have one. You have to be able to actuate it from the right hand side of the gun, because you lose the option over here basically unless you're using your support hand, which I don't. You know, I don't want to train that way to have to bring my support hand off the gun to actuate the safety. So like I said, it's definitely coming back onto safety is a little tricky with your thumb. It tends to slip here and there. So you can do it with your trigger finger if you're coming back on. Coming off, you know, it's right there. You snap it right off. Like I said, you do have control of the gun with this grip. I can, you know, do whatever. It's not like it's kind of flop around the hand. I ran that Exile Machine hammerhead at first, and it was kind of awkward. I really couldn't get as, you know, near a good a purchase as I can with this one. So I'm glad I found this Strike Industries grip. And like I said, for how cheap they are, I just don't think there's really a better option at this time for the money. You know, there's a lot of different ways to go, but for the money, this is a excellent option. So like I said, if you guys are on the fence, you know, I feel bad for some of you younger guys who are maybe just turning 18 and didn't have the option to buy that before the ban, or not even really the ban, but you know, January 1st, 2017. It's still feasible. You can still do it. It's just got to be built basically this configuration. So look around. Not every FFL is up and selling strip lowers at this time, but you look around. There's a lot of them that are. And I encourage you, if you are on the fence to buy one, you know, go for it. Just know, you know, the new laws, you know, stay within them or whatever. You just, you know, don't want to put yourself out there. And but it's still doable, and it's a functional AR. Obviously, it's not as good as a pistol grip. You know, I won't go out and say that, but it's doable for what it is, guys. And then the last thing, you've seen this on camera before. I've done a couple videos. Is the thordsens stock. Kind of a spendy option. You know, 125 to 140 bucks, I think, give or take, depending on if you buy the enhanced version or not. Same deal though. This one I think is a little more traditional as far as the grip you can use on this. It is probably more ergonomic than the other setup, because you can, you know, still actuate the same way you used to with a pistol grip. It is a little more spendy, and like I said, if you watch my videos, you see the one where I actually break it by dropping it. And granted, it was an extreme case, you know, dropping it from you know, 4 foot in the air or so on, you know, straight on the ground. That's obviously pretty extreme. But Thordsens did back it up and did warranty it no problem, as far as that goes. So they are, you know, they are a stand-up company, and like I said, it's just kind of personal preference at that point. If you want to spend the money on something like this on a Thordsens, or you know, kind of do the budget-minded setup like that with the Strike Industries and like a Magpul fixed MOE. Just watch your other features. Make sure you don't run a vertical pistol grip or vertical grip on your forend. You can run a angled foregrip like this, or a Magpul AFG, something like that. But like I said, it's still out there, guys. AR-15s are still options in California. And for me, like I said, featureless is kind of a no-brainer for me as far as having a detachable magazine. I'll trade the features out for a detachable magazine over, you know, having a collapsible stock that really, once you get in the position, I don't really collapse it back and forth or wherever. I don't need to collapse it for storage or something like that. So, you know, once it's where I need it, you know, I don't really have to have that. So I would trade those other features as opposed to putting a mag lock if I have to go one way or another. So like I said, it makes it nice that you can put it in. You can basically put a full capacity magazine in this thing because it's featureless now. It's basically classified like a Mini 14 and get it out nice and quick. So in a home defense setup, I feel that that's a must. For me, at least for me, I have to have a detachable mag. The rifle I'm going to use for it has to have a detachable mag to start with to even be considered. So like I said, this is kind of my new setup that I've been running a little bit, and I like it. It's for what it is. You know, we're stuck with what we got here in California, but this to me is a pretty solid setup considering what we have to do here. And like I said, for a vehicle gun or truck gun, something like that, you know, something you're going to take on a long trip with you or something. Every once in a while I do take a long gun with me if I'm going on a long trip. And like I said, it just kind of minimizes the cost of the rifle, where you don't really have to skimp and buy really budget or, you know, sub performance parts. You can build a good gun, and especially if you're saving on an optic, you know, you don't have a lot. There's not a lot of money in this setup. You know, there's probably less than $600 if I had to guess, and a lot of that's the light we're adding there, and the Bravo Company barrel, where we could trim a lot just by changing those two parts to something different. But anyways, guys, I just want to bring that to you. There is options out there. You know, don't get discouraged enough to where you don't build one, or, you know, don't buy an AR-15. Don't let them win. You know what I mean? If you want one, get one, build it the way it is. And you know, I've had a few trolls on some of my California videos that, you know, just move and all this kind of stuff. You know, unfortunately, you know, us guys living in California, you know, if you own property and stuff and you got a good job, it's just not an option. I wish it was. I wish I could just pack up and head out to a free state. Believe me, I would if that was a viable option. But unfortunately, for me and probably a lot of you guys, it's just not, you know. And another thing, if, you know, you don't want to comply with the laws and all this kind of stuff, man, that's up to you, you know. Whatever, I'm not the moral police, you know, if you want to do that. Unfortunately, with my career, my line of work, I can't, you know, I can't not comply with the laws. Unfortunately, it would cost me my career if I got a weapons violation like that. So I don't have that option. And if you do, all I'd suggest is don't post it everywhere. You know, don't put in the comment section of videos. Don't make videos about how you're not going to do it. You know, if you're going to do that, cool. That's something between you, and you kind of keep that to yourself, you know, as far as that goes. And I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm just saying, piece of advice, you know, don't put it out there everywhere. So, but whatever, if you guys decide to do a featureless build, this is a good setup. And like I said, if you're on the fence of buying an AR-15, but you're kind of worried about all the new laws, it's still feasible, man. Don't let that hinder you from getting into the AR platform. It's definitely a good setup. It's a fun gun. You know, I believe everybody that wants one should have one. So, anyways, guys, I hope this helped you out. Just shows you some options that we still can have AR-15s in California. All right, thanks, guys.